window in and kind of go from this corner and then butt in here and then do a filler piece underneath. Just because then it's going to be less things to cut out around. And,
Hi, we're down at Robertson Ranch again today. We had our Sika rep, Andrew, out today to help us with the installation process of our WRB, which stands for Weather Resistant Barrier, which will also be our air barrier. Unfortunately, it was raining quite hard that day and the sound quality wasn't as good as we had hoped. So I'll summarize what Andrew taught us and tell you a little bit about the process.
So when I come to the window here, how much do I want to leave? Like 6 to 8 inches?
Yeah, that depends on how you want it. Okay.
I knew that we had paid a premium for the Sika product, and I knew that I hadn't done an exterior air barrier before, so I wanted to make sure it was done right. You don't need to know everything, you just need to know someone that does, like Andrew. Within the building industry, there are many specialty trades and even more specialty products within each trade, which makes it very hard to know it all. So when you don't know about something, you need to ask the professionals or the manufacturers.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay, thank you. I just gotta figure out how long I am first. We'll go right to that meeting room here on Main Street. I'll take that to you quick. So how about for stretching? Is that okay to stretch it? Don't. Okay. It pulls pretty tight too, which is nice. Yeah, it does. Yeah, like a come down in the middle. Exactly.
So with the Sika house wrap, there were many different tapes and a fair amount of origami to make this building airtight. We had installed window butts using a 2x material nailed to the building to extend out the rough openings of the windows. This way we were able to have deeper window sills on the interior and keep a more traditional exterior finish trim look on the outside of the building. We needed to do this because we had used exterior insulation and had rain screen on the outside of the building.
Yeah, but it has to get rolled around. Oh, here. Climb up. Oh, climb up my ladder, Justin. We'll start in the middle. Okay. Make sure that's too tight. Yep. Okay, and then work your way out.
Window flashing, right?
Yeah.
You want to tuck it underneath if you can?
Oh, okay. The window flashing will be, I was going to put it above, not here, but on top of our window trim.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be like in this kind of area here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to do...
Okay, so it's not a
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it under the trim, like on top of the window, and then I usually just cut my wood trim so that it sits on top of the window.
Okay, if that's the case, I think it's fine.
Okay. And then we can tape, we're allowed to tape the flashing to the...
Right. Just have a piece of 2.5 millimeter onto the flashing, right
Okay.
onto the paper, and
Okay.
perfect. Got it.
And make sure that you've got about the same amount of overhang on both sides. So 4 inches is that line there. Okay. So check to see if you're there. Yep. Okay, so you come up to the middle then. Grab your stapler, tack that there.
So first we have to address, so we work from the bottom up, right? We always work from the bottom up, just for water, for stability purposes. Even though high performance tape, theoretically, if it's applied on each other and it's applied pressure, it is considered monolithic, so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah. Just in case it didn't get pushed on there as well.
Exactly, it's safer, or inspector want to see the positive lapping. So we always recommend it, even though it's not absolutely necessary. So to address, so the first thing we have to address is this corner before we practice it. So anything that's 4 inch and above has a little split backer. So that's kind of nice for detail like this. You don't need a lot. So you fold it in half. It's a piece. It's my tape, so I can waste as much as I want.
I was just telling them how much it is a roll.
It's not cheap. That's always like people who use our stuff. Like when I go back and ask them for feedback, it's always there's only 2 things that's ever kept up. It's great products, but it's really expensive. That is always the case. So the first thing we do the corner. So then we're going to do a 45-degree cut, but we don't want to cut right at the corner. We're going to cut a little bit off the corner. Just a little bit, not by a lot.
Like 1/8 of an inch?
Yeah, it's just a little bit. So
Okay.
just so it's not right at the pinhole.
Okay.
We'll add an extra piece for the pinhole just to be safe, but it's good practice anyways on something like this. So the tape is reinforced, it's highly elastic. So what I do, so fold it in half, tape it right around the corner like that. And then we just pull. The tape is, if it's wrinkled up, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You can get it in tight. So this is just an extra safe piece for the little pinhole. And then we're gonna do one last piece on here, just to finish this corner up.
So it does stretch a little bit then, eh?
It stretches quite a bit actually.
Okay.
This tape can really stretch, but when you install it, you don't want to over stretch it.
Right.
Because this tape is reinforced. It's my tape, so I can raise a few more pieces. So here,
Yeah.
so it's not the best tape for taping, but it's
Oh yeah, that's
fairly
yeah. Yeah.
right.
Get out of
Put it inside like this. And the last thing we do now is just have a little piece here. Same thing as that we've done on here for the corner.
Putting your eagle line on that.
And of course all this get taped, the seams get taped because it's 2.5 inch tape.
Okay.
So that's a good part.
Okay.
And just like that, this corner is now watertight, airtight. Don't have to be concerned at all. Then we just have to tape the seal.
So the only piece you're stretching is going to be the second piece.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then we're going to reinforce it with this. When you're stretching, it's like any elastic, right?
Right.
Over time, it might pull back.
Right.
So having that third piece there to hold it on
Right.
is the safety. measure just in case.
Who wants to give it a go? I'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go. And
Sure. I'll give it a go.
When installing Sika tape, you need to install it thinking about shingling over the next piece, making sure there isn't a spot for the water to get caught up in. We also needed to make sure that we either rolled out the tape or used a bottom scraper on the tape, as it was pressure sensitive.
And this is a little bit off the corner. I'm coming this way.
exactly.
Okay.
45 degree, a little bit off the corner.
Something also worth noting is that Sika tape is non-toxic, which is very nice to know when working with any product.
So just fold half up and fold it around.
Okay.
And then you can just get right on here. Like then you run out.
Oh, did I want to scrape that first? No.
You can do it after.
Okay.
This is the paper of this piece is for the paper.
The tape was quite stretchy, which made it easy to work with and allowed you to make the inside and outside corners very square. Compared to if you were to use more common butyl-based products, typically the material would build up to the point where you may not be able to fit the window in properly. Using Sika tape only demonstrates the importance of quality and that it is always better not to cut corners.
Just make sure you have enough to run up.
Oh, we're a little long, but that's
It's
okay.
okay, excess.
Yeah.
You can cut off the excess.
So, peel one of these back.
One of these doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
That's which one you
And so we pretty well go just to the back side of this. This is two. This is 2 1/4 inches. Yeah. Okay.
It depends on where the window goes. So the guy told me that the window is like an inch and an eighth.
Off the back. Yeah, that makes inch and 3/8, something like that.
Yeah, so that's fine.
And you know what's also nice about this is that it's super thin. Like with the
Exactly.
blue skin, you're riding up on there and you almost have to get it.
Exactly. By the time you do a little bow tie and then you have like a half inch blown up on there,
Yeah.
that won't happen with something like this.
I will say though, this process took much longer to do. But with that being said, we are not trying to build an average home. We're trying to build a home that will last 100 years. Most homes on the market will last approximately 20 to 25 years with regular maintenance before needing a serious exterior makeover. If you were building yourself a home that you were able to pass down to your grandchildren, wouldn't it bring you joy knowing that you had made great choices in your building envelope? You get one opportunity to do it right, so why not do it right the first time?
Just like that. So for windows, like this, if you guys want, because it's paper back, you can just rip it in the middle and start from the middle and work your way outward. Like it will make the life a little bit easier. If you like.
Oh, wrap it okay. Yeah.
You want to have a 1 inch overlap on the tape. Tricky part of those two, the buckle, if it's just flat, you just lay it all the way through. Yeah, that's kind of.
Well, I had to make it difficult.
Exactly. You shouldn't just do a little Christmas present. your piece on the jam, just make sure this is goes over that piece,
Okay.
so it doesn't create that negative slap. By the way, so we recover that little pocket that we
Okay, yeah.
created, so it's still fine now,
Great.
and then that pretty much is it.
Okay. Because we have paper here, we don't have to do anything
Nope.
along this joint.
Exactly. Yeah, you just have to make sure like you keep it off again.
Right, when the pulley comes in, it has to get tied in to this section here.
Ideally, not to bring the glass poly in, tape this right to your wood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't want to. We want to leave the poly as the paper barrier and paper barrier connect.
Okay.
So if you connect to the poly, then poly becomes part of the paper air barrier as well.
Oh, okay.
And that might cause some leakage.
Oh,
so
really?
we want to not rely on poly at all for air, just rely on poly for paper.
So what you're saying is we're going to be now taping this and taping that.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
So we do this for all four corners, for all windows.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Okay. Cool. So the reason why the exterior air barrier is a great way to go is because you stop the air infiltration from entering the structure from the outside of the building.
Oh, okay, so I'm going too big.
This is important because when you have air leakage in your house, this is where the moisture finds a home to start festering. If you take a second and think about the exterior air barrier as the skin of your house, let's compare it to the human body as an example. If you had random holes all over your body to let air in without filtration from your nose and lungs, one could argue that you would get sick pretty quick, no? Well, that would be the same for your house. Which brings me to my next point. Does a house need to breathe? Well, yes it does. But wouldn't you want to bring that air in on your own terms with filtration, like your lungs and nose, and use the ventilation and mechanical systems that most people already have in their homes? I think you would, and you can, by using the building envelope. Because of the air tightness provided by the building envelope, it gives you the opportunity to have a smaller mechanical system with less bills and cleaner air. So if you had watched our previous video, we showed how we installed the bottom wood plate to the foundation. But later, we took it one step further and used the Sika tape to tape the WRB at the base of the wall to the concrete as well. This is on the inside, but this same tape here we used on the outside of the building to seal the wood plate right here to the concrete. And we also did it on the doors here to make sure that the spots where we couldn't get spray foam into, we were able to seal the door right to the concrete. This helps again with the air tightness, which on most houses is a very leaky place. An added bonus to doing this is that bugs have a harder time crawling into your house and don't have a place to call home, since you prevented your sill plate from becoming wet and damp. We also had to tape around all the window and door openings as well as any other penetration that came through the wall. Then at the top of the exterior wall, we brought the WRB over the double top plate and then folded it down the interior of the wall and taped it at the corners. I hope this brought some information to those who wanted to know a little bit more about an exterior air barrier and why it's important. And I hope you were able to follow along in the journey of us building this house. We will be doing a showing of this house when it is complete. If anyone is interested in coming to look, there will be a link on our website called Home Tours, where you can leave us your name and email and we can set up an appointment for you to come and take a look at this project when it is complete. And thank you, Andrew, for coming to help us with this project. At Buck Robertson Contracting, we do contracting with communication. So if you'd like your house built with communication, call us today. Bye for now. Some ASMR with the cutting. So why did you decide to watch this channel?
For the noise of the paper.